Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm talking a bit silently, but I've turned my mic volume up because my brother is sleeping in the next room. So, hello, Patrick, how are you? It's We've been trying for a while now to get each other on stream, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been trying, and me too. There's people sleeping, but anyway, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be here. I've been wanting to do a collab with you, but sometimes it's the times that they never work, and most times I watch you doing your watch-alongs, which are very interesting, just to learn, because I see you've got very good knowledge of uh, other leagues, But thank you for having me, man, and it's been an exciting few hours, so I'm pretty sure you're also excited yourself. Uh,
I actually am the best ITK on Man City Twitter, aren't I?
You did, isn't it? You tweeted it at the right time, didn't you? As soon as you tweeted that, everybody seems to have started bringing the news out. Very interesting. Your man is backtracking now. Have you seen that? Your man who broke the news, the first news on Twitter, he's backtracking. He says he never said versus committed to buy-in. So I don't know if maybe the
Yeah,
father
I
has.
said this, by the way. That's Hans, is it Hans Frank? Is that his name?
Yeah, one of the
He's the
guys.
head of football
Mm.
at Bild. Bild was caught lying about the words transfer news. That's why Bild stopped posting and started posting on his account. I said
Uh,
from the moment any news came from that Hans guy, it's all fake. That guy is a liar, bro. They lied on Bild. They got caught by a Leverkusen representative lying,
mm,
and then they started posting the same news, but
mm.
from the account of their head of football rather than their own
So
account.
the basically it's either Leverkusen or Vert's father was told them that stop spreading this, you're causing trouble. Because remember the Leverkusen camp said we speak to Vert's father, we're all transparent, we don't have an idea what you're talking about. So maybe they contact because the way he's written a whole speech of saying we
Mhm.
never did this, we never said he was committed. So I think they have been contacted. So maybe they're scared, because if you lie like that, there can be legal actions. So I
Yeah,
think something has gone wrong. Somebody says it might have been Bayern PR, Bayern Munich PR trying to get things to happen, and it has backfired in the face. Obviously, they can still get him, but I'm just saying this is a bit embarrassing, that they have started apologizing. Now you can't look credible anymore, to be honest.
yeah, I think they've pissed a lot of credibility down to the drain. Now, one thing I want to say, by the way, about my post is I'm kind of disappointed nobody noticed the QPR logo, or sorry, not QPR, Coventry City.
I think yeah, nobody did. I think you pointed it out, but I think nobody did because I think people did not even when I say that I'll give my bank account. People took it seriously. I was like,
I think some people did take it seriously. I saw some people asking for my sources. Some people did take it
yeah,
seriously.
because people get. I remember the way Admirers one. I remember I just posted. I was like, it's done, but I was just posting out of like banter. I was at work, and then
Yeah.
somebody said, this guy was the source. This guy is the guy who did it. I was like, no, I was just joking, and it just happened. It just landed an hour after that. He's signing for City. I don't know. People don't get. I've noticed people don't get the jokes sometimes, but fair play to you, man. At least you're acknowledging it as a joke. Other people would start saying, I knew something in there.
I mean, to be fair, I always said it's 50-50 between Biden and Words, even when the news came out that he was agreed with Biden or something. But yeah, I think I think Words is the most important signing to get down this summer. Not sure if you agree with that.
Yeah. No, no, no. I think he is the signing that. Do you know the thing is? I think we can both agree. If he walks through the door, it doesn't matter who walks in the door after him. I think people don't care. I think if Verts walks through the door, even if they come out and say, "Oh, Nico Gonzalez is going to play the number 8 next to Rodri," and then it's going to be Verts, or they'll say, "Oh, Foden might be. It'll be a pivot or Foden and Verts." Nobody cares. I think as long as Verts walks in, I think it will just blindside. Because that's what somebody said. I bet you if Verts signs, Gibbs White walks in, nobody cares. They will just say, "Welcome." But I think it's all Verts because you must remember these creative midfielders, right? It's what's missing for Doku. It's what's missing for Savio. People don't get it. Even these wingers, if they have somebody creative, if they have somebody with energy, even Gibbs White, we can put him in there. Let's not forget that Man City's strength before was midfielders who could press, midfielders who could overload. Now the midfielders can't overload. You know why? Because Pep Guardiola is scared. He wants to go down the middle. The midfielders stay down the middle. The one get in the box. The one go overload in the wings. So this Verts and especially the AC Milan guy, I think,
Rangers.
yeah, Rangers. Let's be honest. I personally, obviously, people are gonna be pissed off. If I see Rangers through the door and Verts doesn't come, I'm still gonna be happy because I think we need a Rangers in this team. I don't know if you agree with me. I think we need a Rangers next to Diego.
I've not watched Rangers this season. Not a lot. I've watched one game of him this season. So it's difficult for me to say. I've watched him last season.
Did he stink in the game you had?
He was terrible against Club Brugge. He got 2 goals, but he was terrible that game. The last season I watched him, and he was okay, but he was nothing like staggering. But like, I mean, I haven't watched him in an entire season, excluding one Champions League game, which, I mean, he was bad, but he scored twice, to be fair to him. So my thing with Rangers is either he improved a lot in the season that I didn't watch him, and that's why he's getting much hype, or a bunch of people who haven't watched him are hyping him up, which, I mean, that happens a lot in football, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
I trust this board. I trust this board. I think that's one thing I've always been consistent in, that I trust the board. If they decide to sign Rangers, I'm going to give him a chance. Because, I mean, they didn't get it wrong when they signed Gundogan. Gundogan was hated when he first arrived at Man City.
I remember. We used to call him slow again. He used to be so slow. No, but he was slow. Oh, I remember. Do you know the thing about Gundogan and Rodri? I think when they came to the league was passing them by. Like they were trying, like both of them were trying to be so calm on the ball. And I think the thinking was not yet with the Prem that it's so fast. Because I think in the Prem you can be slow on the ball like David Silva, but you have to be fast. Remember David Silva says he used to tell that guy is going to attack me, and that's why he says he could guide the ball, know where to pass before. But I think in other leagues they were having so much time. Gundogan used to have so much time on the ball. Here, then we used to make them look slow. They didn't adapt to the team, but after a while they got used to it. Remember when Pep said, "Give Rodri time. We just want to teach him that the game sometimes is fast, but we also teach him how to read the game and where he can stand. He doesn't have to run." Remember, that's what he said. He's like, "I know he's slow, but he doesn't have to run. He just has to know where to position himself." That's why, believe it or not, I think Nico Gonzalez will be a baller at City, and people have no idea how good he is. So Rangers, I'm welcoming that. I think that one looks like negotiations. And there's somebody said threw in a bid last week, was rejected. It was a small page that wrote that, but an Italian page. But I think people didn't take it serious. But it looks like now he was right. I think they'll close that one. But you're right. I think it's Verts. I think it's the Verts one, and I don't know who's plan B, because City have the plan B, but they never tell us. There's always a plan B. You find the Verts, and somebody walks in, and we're like, wow, we missed on Verts, but we got this baller. But I hope Verts comes through, man. I hope Verts comes. I'm tired of this thing where Bayern gets whatever they want. You get what I mean? Like I know people will be like, but City get. I mean, like, but Bayern, we don't get whatever we want. We wanted Rice, we couldn't get Rice.
Bellingham.
Bellingham. So Bayern again with Leverkusen. I think that's what Leverkusen are pushing for. Didn't Bayern want the Kai Havertz or something, and they refused them also. They sold him away. Every time Bayern wants somebody from Leverkusen, I hear somebody telling me majority of them Leverkusen would rather sell to somebody outside. They don't want to be Bayern's leader like what Dortmund was doing seasons ago.
But Leverkusen is one of the few boards in the Bundesliga that consistently refuses to sell to Bayern München. But this deal is different from usual Bayern München deals, because it's like the high-up guys who are doing this deal, because normal sporting director has a pretty bad relationship with sporting director of Leverkusen, which is just why they can't get deals over the line. So it's like board members of Bayern München itself, like the chairman and stuff, who are trying to get this deal for the works over the line. But the problem is, Leverkusen is like 150 million, you're not getting him. But they're only asking 100 million from us. And 100 million euros, by the way, that's 85 million pounds, I believe.
Yeah.
So they're just demanding way more from Bayern München. And they're doing that deliberately. They're saying, if you buy words from us, we're going to go buy a Cherki or someone cheap who is very good. We're going to go buy extra players on top of that. And we're going to increase our wage structure to be able to increase increase whoever's wages so that we can keep them. Rangers, Wirtz, and Rodri with Rodrigo. That's sacked, by the way. Rangers, let's say 70 million. let's say pounds. Let's say 50 million pounds. Let's say Rodri Words 85 million pounds. You're already at 155 million pounds. So like that's half your transfer budget gone.
That's before the fullbacks, though. That's before we've touched the fullbacks.
Yeah, Livramento and Kerkez, I think it's like maybe 120 million between them. Maybe you can get one cheaper, let's say 110 million. You're already at 265 million pounds. And then for Rodrigo, I mean, that will be a world-class window, but I don't think we're getting that over the line.
You know what happens is you have to make sacrifices. Like I told people that people are like, why are we going for this Brazilian fullback, and then we're going for, the rumors that we're saying the Brazilian fullback, and we've agreed terms with the Juventus reserve guy or bench guy, whatever it is. I was like, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. If they are confident that they're going to spend money on Verts, Rangers, and then maybe they keep White, this is that, maybe they're saying, okay, then let's just go get a fullback who's potential, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we put the centre back, so we play fullback. So if he doesn't succeed, he will not cause drama, We get him for 20 million, we get another 25 million. Sometimes you make these sacrifices. Sometimes you're like, you know what? Because they can go and get Cambiaso, right? And he plays both sides. But sometimes maybe they were making that decision in January. It looked attractive because that time maybe even Verts was not listening yet. You know what I mean? But now Verts listens, and then they want to get, maybe Pep is like, I still want Gibbs White, and I still want Renders, and they have to make a sacrifice someone. So City fans shouldn't be pissed off if fullbacks walk in at like 20 million. You never know, you might get good fullbacks, and at the end they can keep. That this City team, I don't think you're supposed to be an elite fullback for City. I think if that time we had Cancelo, Walker, but I think you don't really have to be an elite fullback. I think I've always said I think an okay fullback can still do well in this City team if we are firing. If Rodri is back with a good midfield, I think an okay fullback. If we want, let's go test the waters at Chelsea for Gusto. I think Gusto is a baller. I don't know.
I'm gonna come back with my wrapping of Ireland Wan-Bissaka.
Are you serious? You're not the first one, by the way. There's a lot of people who, what's his name, man? Somebody else was always been talking about Wan-Bissaka. What was that? On Spaces. He's like,
Matthias?
Nah, Matthias is a Gibbs White, man. Matthias says Gibbs White is going to be world class. That's what he said.
A world class is maybe an overstatement, but I think Gibbs White is an okay player. I've got him in my team of the season, but my worry is, can he do that consistently?
Yeah.
I don't think he can.
Yeah, he looks like, he just looks like a guy who give you a 7 out of 10 all the time. And I think that's good enough. I think that's what we need. Like,
for the squad player, he'd be great. Isn't
that Bernardo Silva who was giving us? Obviously, Bernardo Silva is a better player. Obviously, 2025, our take Gibbs White in 2025. But Bernardo Silva used to just give you a 7 out of 10 minimum all the time. It was always higher, and all he does is pressing. That's what's missing in this team. As I say, pressing. And Gibbs White, I was watching him for Forest. He was just pressing on his own.
What I think, because you asked me what we do if we don't get words. Yeah. I think Rodrigo is only if we don't get words. I don't think we get them both. I think if we don't get words, we still get Reinders, we get Gibbs White, and we get Rodrigo, and we shift onto a double 8 system. Yeah. Kind of like in a Centurion season where De Bruyne and Silva both played as an 8 and both created a bit from midfield, but we mostly had stuff going down from the wing, so it's Leroy Sané and Sterling. I think that's our solution if we don't sign words. Now, I do think if we get words and Gibbs White still comes in and Reinders, both of them press a lot. Now, if you watch words in the Bundesliga, he doesn't press that much. He will press after he loses the ball, but that's where it ends. He will run for like 10 seconds when he loses the ball, and that's about it. So he's not a consistent presser. Now, you get him into a Pep system, maybe he does that more. De Bruyne, back when he played at Genk, he lost the ball, he would throw a temper tantrum instead of trying to win it back. So players, if you get them into a good manager, they can develop a better mentality. But it seems like if you have words, you have to accommodate him somehow. Wirtz also has had a lot of injuries, and he's quite young. He's 22. He's had an ACL injury. Not ACL. He's had a hamstring injury. He's had knee problems.
He had the ankle thing, isn't he? He also had the ankle thing recently.
The ankle thing. So he's had quite a few injuries. So I think if we get him into Man City, he's not going to play every game.
Yeah.
He's going to play most games, but he's not going to play every game. And he's going to get rested quite a bit. That requires you to have someone else who can play in the 10, even if that's their main position. So that is Gibbs White. I think he's more of an 8 than a 10, but at least he can play in the 10 if Wirtz is
And then you've got Foden, you've got Echeverry. It's looking good. I think that's what I'm saying. I think Wirtz is just there because the thing is this, right? We might bring in Wirtz and then Echeverry stays, and then this ability of Echeverry comes out, and then we're like, wow, maybe we shouldn't have bought Wirtz, but we need a Wirtz right now because you never know where these youngsters can end up. But I think Echeverry, for me personally, I think Echeverry will be a winger. I have the feeling Pep will tell him to be a winger. There's just a feeling that I was watching Echeverry, I was like, wait until you become a winger because Pep likes that. And I think Echeverry would be a dead winger. Yeah.
I guess we have the next Messi 10.
Yeah. What about Oscar Bob? People say Oscar Bob can play the 10. And I think I saw him a bit seasons ago, even during preseason. When he gets down that middle, he looked very dangerous and he was passing very good through balls. But again, as I said, we have all these potentials to play 10s, but I think you cannot really put your eggs in the baskets of the youngsters. And obviously, Foden is a different number 10. Foden is sort of, give me the ball, I'll score number 10. That's why I also think Foden and Wirtz would be a good combo, where you've got let's say you've got a 10 that likes to score, and then you've got a 10 that likes to create. I don't know. I like that combo because Musiala is the same. Musiala is not a creative 10. Somebody was trying to convince me that Musiala is all about, I want to get in the box, I want to dribble, give me the ball, I'll score. Musiala is basically Foden. Just Foden, but German.
He's better than Foden.
Yeah, he is, but I'm just saying it's basically the same, that give me the ball, I want to drive into the box.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's only Wirtz who's sort of like, I want to create too much. Yes, he scores, but I think creativity is what he goes with. Because remember, KDB said, I would rather create first. So you don't find those players in this world. There's not a lot of players who would rather assist somebody. Players won't grow.
Florian Wirtz, by the way, sorry to interrupt. Florian Wirtz, because not only does he like to create, his crossing is better than De Bruyne. His balls from deep nowhere near De Bruyne's. But his crossing, I've watched a few of his crosses, I swear that they are pinpoint accurate. Like, I'm talking about the level of crossing from David Silva. Like that level of crossing, just pinpoint, always where he wants them to be. And the amount of times I've seen stuff from Patrick Schick, who just misses sitters, puts on a plate by Wirtz. And this guy has 12 assists, by the way. And Matthäus, for example, doesn't want Wirtz because if you watch him across a full game, he doesn't always give a great performance. But I'm telling Matthäus, listen, you're not buying him for the performances. That will come with age. He's not De Bruyne.
Wasn't KDB also? There was a point in time where KDB was performing too much at City. I think under Pellegrini, because that's like under Pellegrini. And then when Pep came, he used to run, press, dribble people. Nutmeg people. It used to look attractive. He used to run with the ball. Yeah. But there's a KDB that started not performing well. But what he used to do is give us 3 assists. Remember?
Yeah.
Did we care? We didn't care.
Yeah, but De Bruyne still controlled the game, even under Pep. He still did that. And I think Matthäus is expecting that from Wirtz, and you're not getting that. Listen, you're not getting 2018 De Bruyne. It doesn't matter who you're buying. 2018 De Bruyne, no player like that exists anymore. It's that simple. So for Wirtz, he's not going to be that 2018 De Bruyne coming back in. But what you're going to get is someone who brings the output, who brings the assists, who brings a lot of assists, especially when you paired him with a striker like Haaland, and potentially Marmoush running down the wings is going to pick up a few goals there as well. You're bringing in someone who fits the system and who wants to play for Man City, clearly, because he rates Pep. Bayern München PR will say otherwise, but he likes Man City, and his favourite player growing up is De Bruyne. So he wants to take over that mantle, I believe. Now I have a Newcastle fan saying, no way you're getting Tino Livramento. I don't know. I don't know. I see some news that we might be interested in him. I doubt we get him, though. I think we'll only sign one fullback this season. And I doubt Tino Livramento is our first option on that list anyhow. Might be difficult to get him as well if Newcastle get Champions League, which they probably will.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I just saw your message. Don't worry, I also have to stay 30 minutes because I'm going to the hospital in the morning. What was I about to say? Look, I think, I don't know if you agree with me. I wouldn't even mind fullbacks as long as we fix the midfield. I think even if we fix the midfield and then we fail with the fullbacks, let's say we fail with the fullbacks, but
Yeah,
we fix the midfield, and let's say these midfielders that we've just listed, Gibbs White walks in, Renders walks in, Verts walks in. I think even the fallback areas can be sorted out. Even I'm telling you, as I think this City team, the only issue has been midfield. I think yes, we need fullbacks because I'm looking for support for the wingers. I want those fullbacks who run up and down, boom up and down. I want the fullbacks who can be able to create. You know how like PSG is, even back in the day, City, where Cancelo would create if you need somebody to create outside. So if I get two fullbacks who can do that, it's incredible. But if we don't, I think fix that midfield, we actually fix the team a bit. I think the team actually gets better. If you get midfielders who can press, Rodri comes back, then you've got Gonzalez who can also rotate sometimes with Rodri. I think that's good enough. But saying that, I desperately just need a fullback. I'm tired. I just want to see two fullbacks who can run down and overload. They can do the
I
run.
don't think you're going to get two fullbacks.
Which side do you think we're gonna get?
Pep likes that back three. Just one fullback would already make me a lot happier. Big up to Luke, by the way, for the rate. I think. I mean, if we fix midfield, that fixes most of the issue. I guess let me ask you this: so we get that midfield fixed. We don't get any fullbacks. Who do you play left back, or who do you play right back? Do you keep Matheus Nunes?
Do you know what? I don't want to see Josko as a left back.
Yeah,
I just, if is it just me? Man, I'm so desperate for
he's an average left back, and he's a great centre
centre
back.
back. It's just proof that look, the goals. I think the goals were blinding everybody. The fact that he's good going forward, people were blinded, but he was struggling to be bombing up and down. You can't do it that body. Like you can't. Like I'm a big guy. I like somebody puts me in a football game. I'll be like, man, just put me down the mid or put me as a centre back. I'm not being a fullback or being one of your wingers. Like I desperately just want okay. Because if I say right back, right, who's gonna be right back then? If I say left back, that's the only way we can see Joseph as a centre back. It's very difficult. That's why I know after saying we can't get both, and I know we can't get both. I just want to not see makeshift anymore. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
I am admiring the fact that certain teams this year, like Barcelona, apart from the fact that I know Kunde, but at least he can bomb up and down. Garcia, I was surprised to see Garcia play the fullback position, and he actually looked great. But I'm looking for that PSG fullback thing. I just want fullbacks to be able to cause damage, pin back the other side.
mm-hmm.
But look, if it has to be that you have to make a choice, then let's get it right back. Get it right back. Josco can do whatever. As you're saying, Pep still wants the three at the back. Get the three at the back then. But I don't know. Let me ask you something, right? I see Nico O'Reilly that he's capable of playing as a midfielder. Like I know that he needs time, but am I mad to say if I was Pep Guardiola, I'll start because of Nico O'Reilly's body and the speed he has and the way he crashes into I'll start making him into a box to box. The way he's able to crash into the box. You've already put him as a left back and you've taught him how to defend. So now, what's the specialty of box to box to defend and attack? Maybe that's what Pep is cooking. I don't know. That's why he's putting him as left back to teach him how to defend.
So
But
it's your question if we keep Nico as a left back?
no, I want him as a box to box midfielder. But it's flooded now.
You know what the problem is?
Eh.
You're not getting Nico in box-to-box midfield if you're getting Reinders and Gibbs White. You're simply not. Now
there's a lot of things we want, and
you can compare to Foden. When Foden first came through, he was not getting into that midfield. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That midfield, he was never getting into that. So he was out on the wing, and gradually he got into midfield. It was only 23-24 where he regularly featured in midfield.
Yeah.
And even then, he was down the wings a few times that season.
Yeah.
So if O'Reilly is patient, and these players need to be patient. If they want to make it at Man City, they need to be patient. If O'Reilly is patient, and Pep wants him to play left back, I would take that if I'm O'Reilly. Play left back for 2-3 seasons, gradually start shifting into midfield. And then maybe you'll have your season at some point where you can come into midfield when one of the other players leaves. That's what I think.
Have you ever thought about this? Because he used to play attacking midfielder in the academy. You know what my dream is? Because
But you all played striker in the academy, so
yeah, I remember because I was watching him, right? I was like, if this kid, because he's got the body shape of Yaya and the way he crashes. Because I watched him when he went down the middle of one of the games and he was dribbling and they were trying to bring him down and he was just pushing them. I was like, this kid can be like a Yaya. Like imagine this kid, you give him the keys like attacking midfielder in one of the games. He's actually crashing into your box. What do you do? There's nothing you can do because he was just pushing. Like it was against Spurs. He was pushing the guys, and I think there's a bit of skill in him, and he's got a nice cross on him and he's got a nice pass. Have you seen the passes he's actually executed? Yeah. That's why I'm saying I just see him as, yes, you're right. If he's patient and one day I think he can become one of the box-to-box midfielders and he would be great because he's got the body shape. Because I see Nico Lewis. I see Lewis as a very technical player, but I also feel sorry for him that he has to use his technicality. He can't use physicality. But in the Prem, sometimes you need to use physicality. Why the opposite with O'Reilly is born with the physicality and he's also very technical. And I'm like, this guy can actually become something like of a beast. And I'm so happy that Chelsea didn't get him because Chelsea were going to play him and then we were going to start crying again. Because I was looking at the Chelsea team, I was like, oh, before Lavia came, he was going to be playing him next to Caicedo and then Enzo attacking, and then we were going to be crying. And listen, like I think O'Reilly was going to hurt us also. O'Reilly was going to be another painful one if we.
I don't think we would have let O'Reilly go because it's simply a different situation, and Pep actually rates O'Reilly because Pep didn't like Palmer that much. They didn't get along very well.
Yeah.
But Pep and O'Reilly get along much better. Steve Finn asked, bigger for subscribing, how will we fit Rangers and Rodri, Rangers and Rodri in that midfield? Well, it's quite easy if you ask me. Rodri in 6, Rangers in the 8, and Rangers in the 10. I think it's pretty easy.
And you know what? Even I don't know if Rangers can hold. But I think most of these 8s sometimes can hold for a while. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember when Gundogan was on the peak of his powers?
Yeah.
And Fernandinho sometimes decides to attack, then Gundogan would sit back. I think Rangers can also do that. The same, but this is why. But what does this do for Nico Gonzalez? Because Nico Gonzalez can play 8 and 6.
And no, here's the thing though with Rodri. Rodri is not back at full fitness next season. Rodri next season is going to play 60 minutes and the other 30 minutes will be Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that because I was like, why? Because I was just thinking for a minute, like, I have seen Gonzalez, right? He's a Barcelona kid and he knows this tiki-taka football.
Mm-hmm.
If Rodri, I know it's maybe because you're right, Rodri's 29, so we have to be careful. But I was just thinking that even if you had a pivot even if we fail with Renders, I can still see a pivot of Gonzalez and Rodri still gets dropped out and somebody comes in and we maybe are winning the game and Nico finishes the game. It's just that I've seen Nico Gonzalez play the box to box. I've seen him even play attacking midfielder sometimes when things he's got a pass on him, by the way. I was just thinking that unless Pep has got something cooking why he's bringing Renders, I get why he's bringing Renders. I think you're right. I think he really sees Rodri as treasure now. I think because he's 29 years old, injured, I think we'll see more of Gonzalez sometimes, and then we'll see Rodri in certain big games. But Gonzalez will be playing some of the good minutes. You're right. I think then he'll be playing 30 minutes. So sometimes you find Gonzalez plays a certain minute, and then he brings Rodri, tells Rodri to attack. Gonzalez sits down. I don't know. I just can't wait to see because if he brings all these midfielders, I think people might be saying you have too many, but I don't think we do have too many.
But Pep loves midfielders.
Yeah, and we're struggling without midfielders.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be surprised if he starts bringing Rodri centre back again. Remember his fantasy bringing Rodri as a centre back. No
mass. Rosa says, by the way, on O'Reilly, he's way too physical for being that young. He on drugs.
Nah, O'Reilly. You're right though. Okay, what if we buy right back and O'Reilly just accepts that? Let me play the 4-back for seasons as you. That would be good. I wouldn't mind that because he's actually improved. He's only had one bad game. That's the game he was hooked. That's it.
Yeah, but I think he also plays a bit too much for being that young, which is fine, I think, because next season, if you're keeping Lewis, depends on what you do with Lewis. If you're keeping Lewis, you can rotate. Lewis can play against the weaker teams. Like, it's not that bad. Lewis can play against the bottom 5, except maybe Man United because it is still the derby.
Nah, yeah. You still need them though, and it also depends on them. If they're patient enough, they can play all day. Because I think you may never know. O'Reilly becomes patient. You find he's playing in a pivot with Gonzalez in midfield. Lewis as the 10. You never know. You're right. So there's a lot of minutes to be chewed up. Let's not forget that the reason why City struggled is because we had this small squad and we played so many games during the treble. We played so many games last year and legs got tired, people got fatigued. And let's not forget there's this Club World Cup. So we do need a big squad. And let me just ask
There's more Champions League games now as well.
Are you worried about this Club World Cup that it might
No.
affect Chelsea and City? Because we will continue playing. And do you think it's going to bring fatigue, making us start badly for the... You're not worried about that?
No. Because Club World Cup, listen, the Club World Cup, that's pretty much a glorified place for all the young kids to play. Now, there are rules about the senior players, like the star players getting minutes, but that's only for like in the knockouts onwards, so we still need to get there. I think that a lot of these players will be just playing calmly, and it's like in a World Cup season, for example. If it's a year World Cup, these players still manage to get their rest, so FIFA did, at the very least, have the intelligence to place this Club World Cup not in the same season as a World Cup season. So I'm not worried about that, to be honest. I think most of these players don't have the same passion because obviously it's not a competition they grew up wanting to win. It's a competition that didn't exist until now. So it's not going to be the same passion. It's not going to be the same energy. And you can say, okay, there's a lot of money in that, but the players don't care. Like blatantly put, the players don't care. A lot of players are asking for less games and wage reductions. I think the Club World Cup will see a lot of youth players play. And even if Haaland does start, he'll get substituted off. Speaking on Haaland, he's just back from an injury. He could choose a pre-season. The Club World Cup will be out pre-season. Haaland could choose that.
Yeah, true. No, I was just thinking that. Are you worried or? But we'll see how it goes, though. For me, I would like to win it, but I don't see us winning it because I see Madrid already preparing for it. They're pushing. Have you noticed they're pushing for players to bring in fast? That's why they want to go. So I think
they've already got their manager in as well.
And Madrid, what they want to do? They want to flex that we are the first ones to win this competition as it's become serious. We are the first ones to win it. So whoever wins it, and I know Madrid, maybe it's a good thing. I think if Madrid wins it, they flex it, then the value of it will go up. Because I know if we win it, they'll hate on us. They'll be like, it doesn't matter. But if I think Madrid wins it, maybe it becomes prestige and a bit because it is. Look, it's a fair cup, man. That trophy looks great. I know it looks a bit silly with the key and everything, but it is what it is. But it's a lot of money, and I think clubs will take it seriously, especially clubs like City and Madrid who didn't reach the semis. I think they will look at this and say, guys, we can make money here. We can make more money to help us with transfers. We can make more money that we lost in the Champions League. So we'll see how it goes, man. And I hope we see Echeverri. And if Echeverri cooks, I'll come back with my Echeverri's better Yamal tweet again, just to do on a better.
Okay. Echeverri, by the way, he's obviously been injured when he came to Man City because a lot of people are worried about Echeverri's minutes. I think Echeverri will get his minutes. He's just been managed because he was injured. And we want him to play in the Club World Cup as well because Echeverri, he's a big attraction for Argentine audiences, so he needs to be fit for that. He's just back from injury when he comes to Man City, so I'm not surprised that he hasn't played yet. Simply because we need to keep him fit for this Club World Cup. Again, there is a part of that contract which says you need to play some of these star players that attract an audience. That includes Echeverri because Argentines want to see this kid. They want to see how good he is on the world stage. Now, as for our actual chances to win the Club World Cup, I'm not sure. I'm not going to watch it because I think it's a farce of a competition. And I think football fans do this a lot. They say this competition is a scam, and then, as everyone did about the Club World Cup, and then they go on and watch it. I'm not going to watch it because I think it's a scam of a competition. Shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
If we win it, however, and we win the FA Cup, That does take us to 31 major honors, which is more than Arsenal, was 30. So I will post that out. I absolutely will.
Yeah. I think. Look, I think everyone will flex it. I think even if
Yeah.
Chelsea win it, whoever wins it, flex it. The thing about it is, like some of these trophies, they say that won't that important until you win them. I think people win it, people flex. We won the first one. City PR, Madrid
Yeah.
PR, Chelsea PR, whoever is Inter, Miami, everyone's PR will make sure that the flex that we're the first ones to win this. But look, man, I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna watch it anyway. Oh no, I don't think I will. It's
The
mad
women's
hours.
photo is at the same
Wait,
time.
wait, wait. It's mad hours. I don't know. Maybe I will. Because what I'm saying, maybe I want to now be like, oh my God, I miss football. Let me stay through mad hours. But I don't know. What's your opinion on this Crystal Palace and City game? Are you scared? I'm starting to be scared now. A bit.
No, I'm not, because I think what Pep Guardiola tried to do in the Southampton game was a very poor attempt at rotation, which just didn't end up working. I think we know what works. O'Reilly, left back, Guardiola, Diaz, centre back, and Mateus Nunes, right back. We know the midfield that works. Nico Gonzalez is not going to play. Get over it. We know the midfield that works. We have Haaland back. Haaland, Marmouche, and whoever plays on right wing, I guess. I think we're going to cook Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace did cook us earlier this season, but they're not that good this season. They are our boogie team, I know, but I think in a final, like none of these players that Crystal Palace has have ever played in a final, by the way. We've got players who have won the Champions League final, so it's a big difference mentality-wise. And most of in fact, all of these players have won a league title that we have. So every single one of our players has won a league title. Most of Crystal Palace players have never even played a final. So I think that I think they're just gonna crumble under the weight of the final, and it's gonna be a tough game because finals always are. But I think we should be better. So I think it will be 2-1 because finals they are tough games. But one thing I will say is stop being arrogant because I see City fans already pretending like we've won it, like we did with Wigan,
Yeah.
like we did with Man United.
Yes, I see some people keep saying, "Oh, the season is great because we've won the FA Cup and we've finished second." I said, "Who told you you finished second? Like nobody has told you you finished second. I don't know. People are just mad. And look, I hope we win it, and I hope you're right that it will be because of reaching the finals and the fact that it's a final. Because I have seen City sometimes. I remember when we played against Spurs, and you remember how Spurs always embarrass us. But every time we played Spurs in the league, we beat them 4-1. That time when Son was crying, like it looks like every time we get into these competitions, teams that can beat us or bogies or so-called bogey teams, except that Southampton embarrassment that hurt me. But the Ortega thing where they chipped him.
Yeah.
But I'm saying every time we get into these league cups, it looks like the guys are more calm, relaxed. Even if the other team starts 120 miles per hour trying to like shock us. We seem to be cool. We just collected and passed the ball around. Hopefully we do because this Mateta guys, I know that we played them already, but Mateta is in great form and Eze looks like I started scoring. But I hope it's a good game. I just hope it's a good game. I hope they don't come and pack the bus against us. I hope they play open football. I hope it's just let's play football and see who's better. I don't want to see a final where the team is packing the bus and trying to counter attack.
Yeah, absolutely. That's terrible to watch, isn't it? So when, especially in a final, when you just get a final where it's constantly just park the bus, no movement and anything like that. But yeah, I think we'll win it. But we got to stay humble. I think people like to say the Haaland quote, got to stay humble, but they don't apply it to Man City itself. They like to go to Arsenal and stay humble. But so far, we've had a worst season. Now, if you win the FA Cup, get top 5, that changes. But so far, we haven't. So I think we need to stay humble a bit as a fan base as well. But I think we will win it. I do think I think we should win it, Eve.
Is he frozen?
Oh, yes, you are frozen, actually.
Yeah, I think it's frozen. I think it's frozen. I don't know what happened, but I think it's.
Nope. He died. I'm not sure if Patrick is rejoining or. I was planning to round up soon, so I think he crashed. Farewell, Patrick. Oh dear, he crashed. Yeah, Patrick crashed. Oh, Patrick crashed. He thinks I crashed. No, he crashed. Anyhow, let's end stream there. Patrick crashed with rating 0. Big up to 0. Alfred, I